Baloch separatists, Gravitas cuts out the clutter. Gravitas keeps calm when others scream. Gravitas brings news to life. Weekdays, 9 p.m. IST, 3:30 p.m. GMT. Gravitas. Seeing is believing.
The countdown to Christmas has begun. So add these all-time iconic movies to your binge watch list.
This is going to be your best Christmas ever.
Know all about the Christmas Queen, aka Mariah Carey. And meet legendary Indian singer Usha Uthup. All this and much more with me, Isha Hanspal, at these times only on WION E-Club.
Vielleicht nur als Imposant.
Hello and a very warm welcome. You're watching Gravitas with me, Molly Gampir. Let's get started. Our top story tonight on Gravitas is about Russia unleashing fury on Kyiv. It's an attack that gains more significance given the timing and the backdrop. What does the attack mean for the war? What message is Russia sending out? And what does that mean for Ukraine? We decode that and more in just a bit. And here's a look at what else is lined up for you on the show tonight. Is America hiding the truth about the mysterious drone sightings that have been haunting the United States? What's the truth behind the drone sightings? Where are they originating from? And how has America not been able to solve that mystery all this while? Has President Musk taken over in the United States meanwhile? We tell you why this question is being asked and why that label is being used. This and more coming up. Russia has unleashed a retaliatory strike on Ukraine's capital, Kyiv. Here's what is known so far. The attack was carried out in the early hours of Friday. It was described as a response to Ukrainian aggression on Russian soil, causing devastation in various parts of Ukraine's capital. Russian forces reportedly used hypersonic Kinzhal missiles and Iskander ballistic missiles for targeting key locations in Kyiv. The strikes reportedly disrupted vital infrastructure. Loud explosions disturbed Kyiv's pre-dawn silence, sending residents scrambling for shelter. The Russian Defense Ministry has said it carried out the strike with high precision, long-range weapons that targeted the command center of Ukraine's military intelligence agency and another location where it said Ukraine's Neptune missile systems are designed and produced. It further said that the attack also targeted Ukrainian ground-based cruise missile systems and US-made Patriot air defense systems. In a Telegram post, the Russian Defense Ministry said, I'm quoting, "The objectives of the strike have been achieved. All objects are hit," quote unquote. Ukraine's Air Force said that it intercepted 5 incoming Iskander missiles, but the remnants inflicted significant damage. Reports confirming widespread destruction, with heating systems knocked out in over 630 residential buildings, 16 medical facilities, and 30 schools and kindergartens in freezing December winter conditions. At least one person has died. 12 others have been reportedly injured so far. Debris from intercepted missiles also caused extensive destruction in Kyiv's city center, damaging over 20 high-rise office buildings. Fires raged across 4 districts, leaving the city grappling with chaos. The missiles also reportedly struck high-profile landmarks, including the Catholic Church of St. Nicholas and the Kyiv National Linguistic University. Diplomatic missions were not spared either, with 6 embassies in Kyiv reporting damage. Moscow had made its intentions clear. In fact, last month, Russian President Vladimir Putin, in a prior warning, stated that if provoked, Russia would not hesitate in striking, quote-unquote, decision-making centers in Kyiv, including striking with hypersonic missiles like the Oreshnik. Listen in.
We do not rule out the use of Oreshnik against the military industrial facilities or decision-making centers, including Kyiv.
What's the message being sent out by Russia? In a way, the latest operation underscores the Kremlin's response, the resolve to respond if it is provoked. Let me just say that again. It underscores the Kremlin's resolve to respond if it is provoked. Look at the timing, after all. The latest strikes coming just a day after President Putin's challenge to the West, proposing a missile duel to showcase the capabilities of Russia's Oreshnik missile. In fact, the Russian Ministry of Defense described Friday's attack as a direct response to Kyiv's missile strike on Rostov earlier this week. That strike was reportedly executed with American-made ATACMS missiles and British Storm Shadow missiles. In a statement, the Russian Defense Ministry said the strikes were a response to Ukraine's continued provocations with Western backing. Remember, this series of events also following the death of Russian Lieutenant General Igor Kirillov in a Moscow bombing early this week. Kirillov was a senior figure in Russia's chemical and biological defense forces. As per various reports, Ukraine is alleged to be behind the general's assassination. Meanwhile, Ukraine's city of Kherson also faced Russian artillery and rocket fire. Additionally, Russian air defenses intercepted 36 Ukrainian drones attempting to strike targets across Russian territory. According to the Russian Defense Ministry, overnight, unmanned aerial vehicles were destroyed over the Black Sea, the Krasnodar region, and other areas. For Kyiv, the repercussions of the Russian attacks are profound. Heating outages have left thousands vulnerable in the harsh winter. Families are also grappling with the destruction of homes, schools, medical facilities. As the city reels from the aftermath, Russia's actions underscoring that it will respond decisively to any kind of threats. With Kyiv targeted on this scale, the message seems to be clear that Moscow will not tolerate any kind of provocations by Ukraine and its Western allies. And as things change on the battlefield, there's a shift towards artificial intelligence. Ukraine is harnessing an unparalleled resource, millions of hours of drone footage from the battlefield. This treasure trove of data can train a new generation of AI models that can transform warfare. Our next story explaining how both Russia and Ukraine are also locked in a battle of algorithms. Take a look.
Hovering silently above the battlefield, thousands of electronic eyes are capturing every moment of the modern warfare. Ukraine's front lines have become the world's largest laboratory for an AI-powered combat. The Russia-Ukraine war has become a testing ground to try out AI-powered military strategies. The skies over Ukraine hum with drones that provide reconnaissance, direct artillery strikes, and even turn into kamikaze units with devastating effect. Ukraine now boasts over 15,000 drone crews operating on the front lines, feeding an astonishing 2 million hours of battlefield footage into AI systems since 2022. This data trains algorithms to predict enemy movements, identify targets, and optimize resource allocation. Russia is not far behind. Its Lancet strike drones, equipped with AI-driven target recognition systems, have inflicted significant damage on Ukrainian armored vehicles. Both sides are racing to dominate this technological arms race, with drones proving to be the most disruptive tool on the battlefield. The strategic significance extends beyond current operations. This digital arsenal could fundamentally transform military doctrine, enabling AI systems to make split-second tactical decisions based on real combat experience rather than simulations. This technological revolution raises critical questions about the future of warfare. Many nations and technology leaders have repeatedly warned against using the so-called intelligent machines to kill and cause devastation. Many nations and technology leaders have repeatedly warned against using the so-called intelligent machines to kill and cause devastation. Bureau Report WION World is One.
Our next story is about the drone mystery in the United States. Yes, it's still a mystery that has remained unresolved all this while. The question is America hiding anything? Is it hiding the truth about these drones? Does it know the truth? Where are they originating from anyway? How has the US not been able to solve this puzzle? And what's really going on? You see, mysterious drones have been haunting America, leaving behind a string of big questions. America is witnessing a surge of unexplained drone sightings, and the government seems to be struggling to provide answers. The Pentagon has reportedly sent anti-drone technology to New Jersey, capable both of detecting drones and disabling them. But why now, after all this while? After nearly a month of these sightings, nearly a month. Is there something more to all of this? Let's start off with what's happening in New Jersey, where drones have been reported flying over critical areas over the past few days. These sightings stretch across the eastern side of the United States, raising fears about their purpose. Where are they coming from? And why can't America, with its advanced technology, neutralize the drones if required? At this moment, the answers remain elusive. The US Federal Aviation Administration has stepped in, temporarily banning drone flights in 22 areas of New Jersey until mid-January next year. US federal agencies, including the FBI and Homeland Security, are investigating this, and they have reportedly found no evidence that these drones pose a national security threat. So that's there. Officials have even downplayed the incidents, saying many sightings could just be stars, helicopters, or legally operated drones. But why are they being mistaken for drones then? Meanwhile, US President Joe Biden has dismissed concerns, calling the drones harmless. But US state and local lawmakers don't seem to be agreeing with the assessment. They are demanding strict drone regulations and even the authority to shoot them down. Since November, New Jersey residents have reported dozens of drone sightings. They have been spotted near sensitive locations, after all, like military facilities and even near President-elect Donald Trump's golf course in Bedminster. But despite federal resources, the mystery remains. Meanwhile, authorities are warning the public not to take matters into their own hands, as pointing lasers at drones or firing weapons could endanger manned aircraft mistaken for drones. This warning raises another big question. Why are they unable to differentiate between drones and other aircraft in real time? And also, public anxiety is naturally only growing. The Biden administration faces criticism for what many see as a weak response. Even Trump has joined that debate, accusing the government of hiding the truth. On his social media platform, he demanded transparency or drastic action to bring these drones down. Quote unquote, let the public know, and now otherwise shoot them down. That's what he posted on his Truth Social account. Meanwhile, speculation is rampant. Are these drones foreign agents spying on the US? Could they be part of covert US operations? All sorts of questions out there. Pentagon officials reportedly deny involvement, claiming the military is not running drone tests in these areas. They also insist the drones are too loud and bright for intelligence gathering. The federal government said that advanced drone detecting technology has been deployed, including at military installations. And like we said earlier, the Pentagon has also sent anti-drone technology to New Jersey to detect and possibly bring down the drones. Yet, credible sightings persist. Out of over 5,000 reported cases of drone sightings to the FBI in recent weeks, 100 warranted deeper investigation. This is according to a joint statement by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, FBI, Federal Aviation Administration, and Department of Defense. Recent incidents further increasing the mystery and uncertainty surrounding the drones. Drone activity temporarily closed runways at New York Stewart International Airport and restricted airspace at an Air Force base in Ohio. In Boston, 2 men were arrested for flying a drone near Logan Airport. You see, these cases highlight the potential danger, also the gravity of the situation in a way that America is dealing with, but also underscoring the lack of a clear response or the lack of answers. In fact, a Senate bill proposes expanded powers for federal agencies to track and disable drones. It also suggests allowing state and local authorities to step in under federal supervision. But this bill reportedly has been stalled for over a year. Critics say the government knows more than what it's letting on. Critics also say that the government is not taking this matter seriously enough. The lack of transparency is reportedly fueling distrust among the Americans. U.S. Senator Andy Kim reportedly said that public faith in institutions is eroding. Without clear answers, conspiracy theories are reportedly thriving. So is the U.S. government hiding something, or is this simply incompetence? At its core, the drone mystery is not just about unidentified flying objects. It's about accountability, security, and the U.S. government's ability to protect its citizens. America's skies are crowded with over 1 million registered drones, yet when faced with an actual problem of this magnitude, the system appears paralyzed. So the question still remains, why can't America handle these drones? What are they doing in the sensitive areas? And most importantly, is the US government telling the whole truth, or is it hiding something? And ever since Donald Trump won the US presidential election last month, his biggest backers have included the richest individual in the world, Elon Musk. And Trump has given Musk the new Department of Government Efficiency Agency to run. But the billionaire is throwing his weight around, it seems, even before the president-elect takes office in January. Musk is reportedly making sure his views are being heard loud and clear. He actively participated in wrecking a bipartisan Congress deal to avert a US government shutdown. On Wednesday, Tesla and SpaceX CEO, in a post on his social media platform X, attacked the bill in what became a barrage of posts. The 53-year-old wrote, "This bill should not pass," and kill the bill. Trump also denounced the bill, said ridiculous and extraordinarily expensive. With other Republicans also joining in, Musk rejoiced after the bill was torpedoed. However, Musk's involvement in government decisions did not go down well with the Democrats. They have often painted Musk as unstable, and in addition to his usual title of the world's richest man, Democrats are now calling him President Musk. Senator Bernie Sanders said, I'm quoting, "Democrats and Republicans spent months negotiating a bipartisan agreement to fund our government. The richest man on earth, President Elon Musk, doesn't like it," quote unquote. Democratic Representative Jim McGovern said, I'm quoting, "At least we know who is in charge. He is president and Trump is now vice president," quote unquote. Musk's rapid political ascension is unprecedented. He was heavily involved in the final moments of Trump's campaign, accompanying him at a rally in Pennsylvania. Musk also personally funded a re-election committee. Musk was present at Trump's meeting with Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban at the US President-elect's Mar-a-Lago home in early December. Apart from this, on Wednesday, Trump met with Amazon founder and Washington Post owner Jeff Bezos. And as per reports, Musk joined them. Musk has not been formally named to Trump's cabinet, but his expansive brief of cutting federal government spending has sparked conflict of interest concerns. In contrast to Trump busily laying the groundwork even before assuming office, the talk about the outgoing president, Joe Biden, is that White House aides covered up Biden's apparent mental health and medical history. The 82-year-old Biden, the oldest president to hold office, has been questioned about his age and suitability for the position. According to an article in The Times, his aides protected him from situations that could heighten worries about his capacity to carry on his work. White House staff restricted President Biden's access, reportedly, to information, controlled his reading material, and limited meetings with senior officials throughout his presidency, even as they reportedly maintained till 5 months ago that he would seek re-election. Biden's performance in public settings, including a widely criticized debate with Trump, further fueled concerns about his capacity to serve. Despite the debate preparations, Biden, who had previously spent almost a week at Camp David, attributed his performance to fatigue from international travel. However, the White House has insisted that Biden and his administration remain focused on their duties in the final weeks of his presidency. UK Treasury's Economic Secretary, Tulip Siddiqui, is caught in the eye of a storm. Bangladesh's Anti-Corruption Commission has accused the Labour Minister and her family of embezzling billions from infrastructure projects. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer has given his full support to Tulip Siddiqui, who has denied involvement. Sadiq is the niece of Bangladesh's longest-serving Prime Minister, Sheikh Hasina, who was, remember, ousted from power in August. She has been allegedly accused of being involved in brokering a deal with Russia in 2013 that overinflated the price of a new nuclear power plant in Bangladesh, in which large sums of cash were reportedly set to be embezzled. The deal was signed in the Kremlin in 2013, with photos showing that Tulip Siddiq was present, standing alongside Sheikh Hasina and the Russian President Vladimir Putin. Siddiq previously denied any wrongdoing, stating that she was present at the signing as part of a family occasion. The inquiry into Tulip Siddiq was opened as part of a wider investigation by Bangladesh's Anti-Corruption Commission, which is looking into crimes and corruption that took place under her aunt Sheikh Hasina's rule. Siddiq has denied any involvement in the deal as claimed by Bangladesh's Anti-Corruption Commission. She reportedly stated that since entering government, she has recused herself from any political decisions involving Bangladesh. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer has expressed confidence in Tulip Siddiq. He has stated that she will continue to hold the anti-corruption brief in her role as the Treasury's Economic Secretary. In wake of the controversy, meanwhile, the Conservative Shadow Home Office Minister Matt Vickers has criticized UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer's judgment in allowing Siddiq to remain in her position. Palestinian officials said Israeli forces killed 6 people in the occupied West Bank, while the Israeli military confirmed it killed 4 militants in an airstrike. The health ministry in Ramallah said 4 Palestinians were killed and 3 were injured as a result of Israeli bombing of a vehicle in Tul Karem camp in the northern Western Bank, in the northern West Bank, beg your pardon. While the Israeli military said Tarek Dosh, a militant from the Tul Karem terrorist network, was killed along with 3 others in the attack. According to the IDF, over the past year, Tarek recruited numerous terrorists armed and funded by Iran and by Lebanese terror operatives to plan and execute terrorist attacks against Israelis. Earlier, the Palestinian Health Ministry said 2 Palestinians were killed in a raid in the Balata refugee camp near Nablus. In Gaza, Civil Defense Agency said a series of Israeli strikes on Thursday killed at least 30 Palestinians, with the Israeli military confirming it targeted Hamas militants in one attack. At least 13 people, including women and children, were killed when strikes hit 2 schools in the Al-Daraj neighborhood of eastern Gaza City. In a separate strike, another 13 people were killed when an Israeli warplane targeted a group of Palestinians filling water in Al-Shati refugee camp in western Gaza City. Meanwhile, the Israeli military released a video to show airstrikes on the targets in Yemen used by the Houthi regime for its military activities, including fuel and oil tanks, 2 power plants, and 8 tugboats. Military spokesperson Lieutenant Colonel Nadav Shoshani said the Israeli attack, involving 14 fighter jets and other aircraft, came in 2 waves, with the first series of strikes on the ports of Salif and Ras Issa, and a second series hitting the capital Sana'a. Yemen's Iran-backed Houthi rebels said Israeli airstrikes killed 9 people.
Yesterday, 2 hypersonic ballistic missiles were launched. The first one after night prayer, and the second coincides with Israeli warplanes which attacked our country. Israel targeted ports in Hodeidah and power stations in Sana'a, and the Israeli aggression resulted in the death of 9 civilians.
On the other hand, video footage released by Yemen's Houthis shows the launch of hypersonic missiles into the night sky from an unknown location said to be targeting Israel. The Houthis said they had attacked Tel Aviv overnight, launching 2 ballistic missiles and hitting precise military targets. Reports citing an Arab diplomat claiming mediators will likely need weeks to finalize a Gaza ceasefire and hostage release deal between Israel and Hamas, even as they continued to make progress. This after Hebrew media reports appeared optimistic on Thursday, citing unnamed Israeli officials who said a deal was possible before the end of December. Two weeks after the fall of the Assad regime in Syria, as the dust settles and realities of a transitional government run by a rebel leadership become clear, Syrians are now demanding democracy and inclusivity in governance. Hundreds of protesters gathered at the Umayyad Square in Damascus for the first time since the collapse of the Assad government. Protesters from secular parties and Syrian intellectuals are calling for a broad participation in the incoming government to build modern Syria. Others called for a national comprehensive dialogue to build a country for all Syrians. Demonstrators chanted "Free Civil Syria" and that the Syrian people are one, while some protesters held signs including "No free nation without free women." Syria is home to multiple ethnic and religious communities, and many fear the possibility that the Sunni Islamist extremists will take over.
هي اللي احنا عم نحكي فيها لا تعني كل ما تتصورونه.
The gathering of the civil youth aims to call upon Syrians to demand a state for all of Syria. We went out to say that we exist on the streets, not only on social media. Our ultimate goal is for Syria to be a state for all. We are trying to do something that suits Syria as a civil youth gathering.
Syria's de facto leader, Ahmad al-Shara, better known as Abu Muhammad al-Jolani, had earlier announced rebel HTS leader Muhammad al-Bashir as the interim prime minister. The new regime also suspended parliament and the constitution till March 2025. Al-Jolani has positioned himself as a moderate leader, but his past links with the Al-Qaeda are not forgotten. Protesting Syrians are worried the new leadership might implement regulations stemming from extremist ideologies, threatening the survival and freedom of minority communities. Shifting focus for now, Beijing on Friday warned Berlin against manipulation and smearing China in spying cases after the German police opened an espionage probe against a Chinese national. Listen in.
We hope that the German side will base itself on facts and stop using so-called espionage cases to engage in manipulation and smearing and earnestly safeguard the legitimate rights and interests of Chinese citizens in Germany.
Meanwhile, earlier German media reported that security guards detained a Chinese citizen before arresting him for taking pictures at the Kyiv naval base on December 9. The northern port is home to German naval installations and shipyards of a defense giant that builds submarines there. In October, Germany said it arrested a Chinese woman on the charges of spying on the country's defense industry. It also said the woman was working in a logistics company named. In fact, she allegedly reported to another suspected Beijing agent, now under arrest, identified as Jian Ji, who was working in the office of a German far-right member of the European Parliament. Unnamed security sources cited by news magazine Der Spiegel said 38-year-old Yaki X targeted the arms giant that is involved in making Leopard tanks and uses Leipzig airport for cargo flights. Moving on, joy turned into mourning in southwestern Nigeria after a deadly stampede at a holiday fun fair claimed the lives of 35 children, while seriously injuring several others. Police have arrested 8 persons in connection with the stampede. The event was organized at a high school in Basorun, near Lagos. Following the stampede, injured children were rushed to local hospitals. Parents were asked to check for missing persons. According to authorities, security forces responded to the scene and arrested the event organizers and a sponsor. The police have said that the homicide section of the State Criminal Investigation Department has opened a probe into the stampede. The organizers had planned to host up to 5,000 young people at the event, promising exciting prizes like scholarships and gifts. The Nigerian president, in a statement, offered his heartfelt condolences to the locals, state authorities, and the grieving families who have lost their beloved children. He has called for a review of all public events, safety measures, strict enforcement of safety regulations, and regular safety audits of event venues. And our correspondent has been tracking all those developments very closely. Louisa Olini sharing this report from Lagos. Take a look.
The death toll from Wednesday's stampede at a Christmas fun fair in Ibadan, southwest Nigeria, has risen to 35, with about 6 persons critically injured. President Tinubu has since expressed sadness over the incident and offered condolences to the families, ordering a probe of the incident. Police spokesperson Adewale Oshifeso said 8 people have been arrested so far, including the main sponsor of the event. This incident again brings to the fore the dire need for all-round safety at events, especially those organized during festive season, and most importantly, addressing the hunger situation in the country, as the rush for basic staples could have been avoided by these children and their families. From Lagos, Nigeria, Louisa Olani, WION World One.
European luxury goods stocks recovered in December, relieving some of the pain for investors. This comes after a year of worries about falling demand in a crucial market, China. Take a look at this next report to find out more.
Shares in producers of high-end products are on track for their best month since February. This comes as optimism returns after repeated rounds of stimulus in China to revitalize the world's second biggest economy. With a gain of more than 8% in December, a sector tracking basket reduced its year-to-date decline to only 1%. The reversal shows how concerned investors are about China, a country whose citizens buy almost 15% of the world's luxury goods. The Asian nation last week hinted at further stimulus measures, which sparked a rally comparable to the one in September, which was short-lived. One other country that is likely to increase demand for luxury goods next year is the United States. President Trump has promised to deregulate the economy and cut taxes, which might lead to more spending. Dora Bukulchikova, a portfolio manager at Robeco, Switzerland, said, "For many luxury companies, China and the US remain key catalysts for the short term." She added, "We are positive on both, even as the exact timing of the turnaround is still uncertain." LVMH Moet Hennessy, Louis Vuitton's share price, saw notable losses this year. LVMH was the largest listed business in Europe until mid-2023, when pharma firm Novo Nordisk surpassed it. LVMH's stock price has fallen 14% so far in 2024, its worst yearly performance since 2008's financial crisis. Investors are banking on a U.S. pickup in 2025 thanks to President-elect who has boosted the dollar and the stock market. Analysts have pointed to Brunello Cucinelli's exposure to the U.S. market as the reason for the firm's increased sales growth projection last week. That is the latest indication of sustained demand at the upper end of the luxury range. Gaz Rothbard, co-head of European equities at BlackRock Fundamental Equities, said, "More recent company results have shown an improvement for some well-positioned companies in the US and European market." Rothbard added, A continuation of this trend, supported by improved consumer confidence, higher wages, and particularly in the US and the post-election animal spirits, could aid luxury companies from here. Nevertheless, there are still several obstacles for the industry. Morale could take a knock if Trump starts a trade war while in office. More and more Chinese consumers are ditching bling after post-pandemic spending was cut short by economic gloom. The desire for luxury products has also been hit by the recent spike in their costs. Business Bureau Report, WION World is One.
Shifting focus for now, dense fog and cold wave conditions continue to persist across India, starting off with India's national capital, where the weather department has forecast a major dip in temperatures, a cold wave and dense fog in the coming few days. The IMD has stated that the minimum temperature in Delhi due to the cold wave is expected to be around 4 degrees Celsius, while the maximum temperature will remain around 22 degrees Celsius. The conditions are the result of the ongoing influence of western disturbances, which are responsible for the drop in minimum temperatures. Delhi's air quality continues to be in the severe category on Friday, with the AQI in most parts of the national capital hovering around the 400 mark. The overall air quality at around 8 a.m. IST today stood at 434, which the Central Pollution Control Board has classified as the severe category. Delhi's air quality plunged into the severe plus category on Thursday, with AQI in some areas pegged at 451. Apart from that, several parts of North India witnessed cold wave conditions. As the temperature dips, a thick layer of smog also engulfing Rajasthan's Ajmer, with the lowest temperature being recorded between 0 to 10 degrees Celsius. The IMD has predicted a cold wave and dense fog along with ground frost conditions in Rajasthan till December 21. Cold wave conditions have also impacted the southern states. Karnataka experienced the cold wave as the temperatures dropped down. As per the IMD, the minimum temperature in Karnataka was recorded between 5 to 6 degrees Celsius. And the temperatures are predicted to drop by 2 to 3 degrees Celsius. Meanwhile, India's Jammu and Kashmir is under the grip of intense cold wave conditions, with Srinagar experiencing its coldest night of the season at minus 6 degrees Celsius on Thursday. According to the Met Office, the cold wave will continue at isolated to scattered places of the valley with no major change in the weather till December 26th. Pahalgam, meanwhile, remained the coldest place in the valley, with night temperatures plummeting to minus 6.8 degrees Celsius against the minus 5.8 degrees Celsius recorded during the previous night. In the ski resort of Gulmarg, the night temperature settled at minus 5 degrees Celsius. Let me now ask you a question. What are your plans for Christmas this year? It's just a few days away. Are you planning to spend some quality time with your friends and family members? Or perhaps spend some cozy time staying indoors? Well, whatever it may be, there might be an uninvited guest this Christmas Eve hovering around planet Earth. What's that? Well, scientists are closely monitoring an asteroid that is scheduled to pass Earth on December 24th. But mind you, this is no ordinary asteroid, but a gigantic one. The asteroid, identified as 2024 XN1, is being closely monitored by scientists now. The asteroid was first spotted by NASA's tracking system, which keeps a close watch on an impending threat to the planet. How exactly does it do that? It monitors the tracks of several asteroids on the flight path towards Earth through a dashboard. Now, about the asteroid in question, here's what we know so far. Reports suggesting the asteroid measures about 120 feet in size, which basically equals the size of a 10-story building. Some say it's around the size of an airplane. What's more, the asteroid is set to travel at a speed of 14,743 miles per hour, which is roughly 6.59 kilometers per second. Now imagine the impact if it happens to hit planet Earth, given its humongous size and the velocity with which it is traveling towards the planet. However, as of now, the asteroid will pass at a distance which is reportedly over 16 times the distance between the Earth and the Moon. And scientists, in fact, are of the opinion that the asteroid is only supposed to brush past, or rather speed past, Earth, which is expected to make its closest approach at 2:57 a.m. on December 24th. But is there a cause for concern still? According to scientists, so far, the event is considered to be a near miss, in which case Earth will be absolutely safe. In recent times, alerts for multiple asteroids approaching the Earth have been raised. In fact, according to reports, a total of 5 asteroids are supposed to make close approaches to Earth in the coming days, of which asteroid 2024 XN1 is the largest. You see, scientifically, asteroids like 2024 XN1 are important for understanding how the early solar system came into being, which also basically means they can help one understand the evolution of the universe itself and help researchers crack various unknown mysteries about space. This year, Bethlehem, the birthplace of Christmas, is unusually quiet. The ongoing political tensions and social strife have dampened the festivities. The usual bustling streets and churches are largely silent. The challenges faced by the region providing a sharp contrast to the celebrations elsewhere in the world. Across the world, festive traditions are spreading customary joy. In Slovenia, the caves, the famous caves there, are hosting a stunning living nativity, angels, lights, music, creating a magical experience for visitors along a 5-kilometer route, bringing to life the story of Christmas. In Mexico, the ancient tradition of Las Posadas is being preserved with processions and piñatas. Despite material shortages and changing youth interests, communities are determined to keep this 500-old custom alive. Moscow's Red Square is glowing with festive decorations ahead of New Year's Day, the country's main holiday. Despite the ongoing conflict in Ukraine, the holiday spirit remains strong, with Orthodox Christmas celebrations to follow on the 7th of January. In Damascus, a Christmas market has opened amid political uncertainty. Syrians are gathering to celebrate, hoping for a future of unity and peace in their country. From a quiet Bethlehem to the vibrant celebrations worldwide, the spirit of Christmas is ringing in hope and joy, even in these challenging times. What if turning 70 did not feel like a slow retreat, but instead like stepping into a new chapter of vitality? A new study has shattered outdated notions of aging, showing that today's 70-year-olds are as fit, sharp and capable as the 60-year-olds of the past. Take a look.
"70-year-olds today enjoy health and vitality comparable to 60-year-olds of past generations. Scientists are now saying 70 is really the new 60. This marks a seismic shift in how we view aging, with older people experiencing unparalleled physical and mental well-being. The study, featured in Nature Aging, paints an encouraging picture. Researchers found that individuals born in 1950 exhibit similar physical and cognitive abilities to those born a decade earlier, even at a more advanced age. This trend is part of a long-term improvement in health that has revolutionized later life. Researchers analyzed years of data collected on nearly 15,000 over 60s in England, covering both physical health and mental health, analyzing a number of parameters like walking speed, vision, and memory. Unlike earlier generations, today's seniors benefit from decades of advancements in healthcare, nutrition, and education. Joint replacements better blood pressure treatments, and broader access to sanitation have all contributed to this leap forward in quality of life. Yet there's a catch. Rising obesity rates and economic inequality could threaten these gains, researchers warn. While the overall trends are promising, not all groups have experienced the same health benefits, highlighting the need for action to ensure that progress is universal. Aging is changing, and so should our expectations. Bureau Report, WION, World is One.
Three dinosaur skeletons from the Jurassic period were sold at a London auction for a total of $15 million. All three skeletons, 2 Allosaurus and 1 Stegosaurus, were excavated from Wyoming and travelled to London in 12 crates where they were rebuilt. Our next report telling you more.
£6,800,000. Hammers coming down. £1,800,000. Sold. £6,800,000 to paddle. 800.
And on that note, it's a wrap on this edition of Gravitas tonight. This is me, Molly Gambhir, signing off. Thanks very much for watching. Have a good weekend.
We registered this company in 2003. So our aim was to make the quality medicine for everyone, affordable to everyone.
Watch Makers of New India. At this time, only on WION World is One.
West African leaders from the regional group ECOWAS meet for a summit with 3 nation members led by military governments on the brink of quitting the bloc. Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger reaffirm as irreversible their decision to quit the group. Human rights groups condemn police action in Kenya after hundreds of activists held peaceful protests in the streets of Nairobi against the rise in femicide cases in the country. And 160 athletes, including 40 young women, gather in the Kimana Reserve for the Maasai Olympics. The event serves to replace the traditional Olamayo, a Maasai rite of passage that involves group lion hunting for young Maasai men to prove their skills, identify their leaders and attract girlfriends. World of Africa at these times on WION. World is One.
This week on the West Asia Post, as the European Union tells Russia and Iran to back off from Syria, Iran asserts that the resistance has not died in Syria. We ask what lies ahead for deposed Syrian President Bashar al-Assad. Also on the show, Israel says Hamas is showing flexibility in hostage talks. Meanwhile, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu takes the stand in a corruption trial. Catch the West Asia Post only on WION World is One.
Know more, understand better, think ahead. Hello and a very warm welcome. You are watching Gravitas with me, Molly Gambhir. Get the facts, not the bombast. On the 26th of March, dynamic pricing, Baloch separatists, Gravitas cuts out the clutter. Gravitas keeps calm when others scream. Gravitas brings news to life. Weekdays, 9 p.m. IST, 3:30 p.m. GMT. Gravitas. Seeing is believing.
The Earth is sending distress signals. Wildfires, droughts, and melting glaciers. Can we reverse the damage? Explore the harrowing effects of climate change. It's a wake-up call. Global emergency. Climate Tracker on WION World is One.
To bring the benefits of the Subhash Chandra Show to your educational institution, teachers and students, send an invitation to Juhi Jha at juhi@such.org.in.
Ready to dive into your daily dose of news?
Bringing you what's trending in the West and all that's setting trends in the East.
And all of this served up with a side of insightful banter.
We don't just bring you the latest stories.
We bring you your talking points for the day.
And while you do that, from the busy streets of New York, I will provide you with deeper insights on the developments through the course of the day in the US.
And I will be here at the WION headquarters, getting you all the action from the universe of sport. All that you need to know about your favorite teams and players. Right here.
The show that keeps you ahead of the global curve. A conversation you'd want to be a part of.
A place where news becomes an engaging exchange.
We bring you stories that impact your present.
This is World DNA.
Join the conversation.
In a year that reshaped the world, 2024 brought seismic shifts, bold moves, and unforgettable moments that will echo through history around the globe. Wars continued to ravage nations, but new alliances and power shifts began to rewrite the rules of geopolitics. 2024 also bore witness to nature's fury. Climate change fueled deadly wildfires, devastating floods, and unprecedented storms. Devastating wars to technological revolutions. 2024 was the year that changed everything. The Game Changers 2024. The year that reshaped our future. Only on WION World is One.
And welcome back. Thanks very much for joining us here on WION World is One. You're watching the latest coming in from around the world. A quick look first at the top stories making headlines.